Hello, everybody. It's Monday. Hope your weekend was good and your Monday's going well so far. Boy, do I have a blast from the past for you guys. Played Doom before. Doom is older than this game, but this game's kind of obscure, I think. Unless you're a fan of this franchise, in which case you may actually know what it is, if you're old enough. Hey folks, Maverick Art Guard here. Oh boy, do I have a treat today. I have played this game many times in the past, and it has content for days. Many days. My gosh. Hey, Key Guy, how's it going, man? How you doing? Back when, the programming for games was so simple that they could have crap loads of content for them. So, yeah. I hope all of the... It took a little bit of... Oh. I'm going to be playing Stalker Gamma soon. I will be playing Stalker Gamma soon. I've already been looking into it. Like how to install it. Not difficult, just involved. A lot of steps. But, yeah, I'll be playing Gamma soon. I'm just taking a break from all the Stalker, Metro stuff and doing some different stuff for like a handful of weeks. But this game is... I don't know how neat it's gonna be to watch, but I'm certainly gonna have a lot to talk about. I am gonna have a lot to talk about. Ah, yeah. There are instructions to follow to install that stuff. So, what is going on with my... I need to switch the bots on Discord. This isn't working. No, I'm over this. I am so over this. Okay. No, it's not hard for me because I'm such about programming is interesting. Yeah, you understand all the associations with like files and how all the files like are important to each other and everything, and all the relationships for that. Yeah, that definitely helps. I hear a lot of people are like, they go onto the Stalker Gamma Discord and like, the game doesn't work, and the first thing that the devs there ask are, did you follow instructions? And if the people say yes, they just ask you, what steps did you do? And if you skipped one, they go back and do it again. Yeah, I know. I've looked into it. Yeah, I've looked into it. I've looked at an installation guide. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's just you have to be very specific about the steps that you take. And you have to follow everything, like, exactly. It's not one of those things where you can go, oh, I know how this works. No, you don't. It's very involved. But, not here about that today. So, I wait when you start playing Gamma. Yes! Probably sometime in February. Probably sometime around February. Right now, I'm just thinking, I'm just gonna do a loner run. The loners are like friends with lots of other factions, and it'll be the easiest if I pick something like Mercs. Everybody hates Mercs, except for a few factions. So I'll just do a loner run. It'll be easy. Anyway, but I'm thinking probably in the next couple of weeks I'll do Gamma. But I want to take a break from all that stuff for a little while. Most of my streaming career so far has been doing Stalker and Metro. So I want to do something different for a while. Anyway, this game I'm playing today. Wow. So, Star Trek franchise. You may know it. Even if you don't, you've heard of it. It had many games. It has had many games over the years. Many. So many. One of them is the game I am playing today, which is a tactical space combat simulator that is based on a tabletop war game called Starfleet Battles. Long story short, it was a game that was very inflated. You could, you know the hand trucks with the two handles and the wheels, the little narrow thing, you could get like the big office boxes? There were enough to fill 2 of those. It got really over-convoluted, and they fixed it many years later, but not at this time in 1999. But they took the game system, they cleaned it up for this. And they made what amounts to a game on a hex map to just freeform movement. There's all kinds of things. There's power management, there's positioning, there's managing your weapons, and all kinds of stuff. It's very simplified because it's from 1999, but it works a lot. And I didn't really do a lot of power management with it too much. I was just kind of like, eh. And I would just play. But today I'm going to see if I can start learning how to properly do the power management, because I played on the easier difficulties. I'm going to play the hardest difficulty today. I'm going to play on the hardest difficulty today. So that should be very interesting, because I've tried playing it on the hardest difficulty a long time ago, and it gets hard really fast. Very fast. Also, of note, this has the Star Trek skin, but it's not... It's Star Trek in name and a lot of naming conventions, but the universe is not the Star Trek universe, because the board game that it's based on is... Someone bought the rights to the Star Trek, the name and all the naming conventions, but not the world or the lore. So they made their own world and lore, and it's called the Starfleet universe. So this is not canonical Star Trek in any way, at all. It's its own thing. It's its own setting, its own universe that just looks like it. Yeah, lore. It doesn't have the actual Star Trek lore. That's like the one thing they couldn't get. And specific, like, named characters and stuff and everything, so... It's a big mind thing? Yeah. So... You would hardly notice unless you kind of looked hard enough, honestly. Otherwise, you know, you have Romulans, you have Klingons, you got, you know, all the names of, you know, all this stuff. So, you know, everything's, you know, phasers and photon torpedoes and disruptors and, you know, shields up, shields down, red alert. All that stuff is here. This game was developed and brought in a lot more of the canonical stuff because they had to kind of gamify it. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So with that, let's pause the synthwave. I had to be since this game is so old, I had to be a little screwy to do a few things, like set up the opening movie for you guys to see. I'd look it up on YouTube. I couldn't get it to stream from the PC. So that's going to be interesting. And it has a hell of an opening movie to really sell the emphasis on its combat. So let's go. Whoop. All right. Okay. I'm going to turn this on. Ah, here we go. Y'all ready? This is going to be a hoot. Oop, here we go. Oh. Hang on, no desktop audio. Hold up. Boop. All right. Here we go. Am I going to get in trouble if I show this? Hold up. Oop. Let me skip. All right. Very old, very low resolution. This game was made by Interplay. It was published by Interplay. Poor Interplay. They had the Star Trek license for a while. Make good games. Yes. Low resolution, too. The game was developed by 14 East, and they did a damn good job. That's a fight you should be running from in this game. Are you sold on blowing things up yet? Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, let's do it. All right, let me fire this thing up. It's going to be a little screwy, I think. Yeah. So, because... You're probably hearing that twice. Okay. Because the game is so old, and I've done a fan patch to make the resolution big enough to be playable, the interfaces don't scale, so it looks like this. So, only on the between mission menus will it look like this. Otherwise, it'll fill the whole screen. So that's the only quirk. Yeah. Yeah. So, we're going to play Starfleet, because we are. I'm going to turn difficulty up to max. Alright. By the way, all the screens are themed. And they have their own theme music. So that's Klingons. We'll do Starfleet campaign. Do campaign. Name Smith. They always start you as Smith. Maverick. I'm gonna choose the early era. The eras are like what tech is available to you when you start. I'm gonna pick early era because it's very simple. It'll make it really easy to explain everything. And also, it gives you the longest playtime in a playthrough. If you start in, like, late era, you have all this tech, but the playthrough is really short. So, we're gonna begin new campaign. Bang! We're there. It's my old games are here. My old games are here. Save it under Mustrum. So... Because we're at Earth, Starfleet headquarters, we see this. So, the Academy is like all the controls and all this other stuff, right? Ranks and medals is, you start at like the basic rank, and you can earn medals and missions for doing really well. Prestige is like your money, and this is like your career kills. Like your ship kills, and like how much money you have. So... Let's start with our vessel library. We only know our ships. To learn about other ships, enemy ships, you have to scan them. And it's and it's on a one-to-one basis. So if I scan an enemy destroyer, it's just that destroyer and that version of that destroyer. That's all I'll know. So, early era, we don't even have dreadnoughts yet. So, frigates are your smallest. Like, these are more like size categories. It's interesting. So frigates are your smallest. Light cruisers are your get bigger. Heavy cruisers are like your all-around middle size, and dreadnoughts here are like big. They're big, big, big. And they include battleships. So, what do we have here? We're going to start with the police ship. So, this display shows, like, all your stuff. Like, this is like the little police frigate. It's only worth, like, 52 points. It has hardly anybody on board. It has... So, this game has power management. This game has power management. It's very important. So, this little tiny ship only has 10 power. 10. Ugh. Battleships have dozens. So, we have a total of 13 power. And we have a battery we can draw on if we really want to push it. And a few transporters and some shuttlecraft to do things. And it has a single photon torpedo launcher and 3 phasers. That's it. It has nothing. And this is how much... These are our shields and how much damage they can take. Because the original board game is based on a hex map with hexagons, you have 6 shields. It's kind of annoying. And it turns... It has the tightest turning class for a ship. And it costs the least to move. So, the higher the movement cost, the more power it takes per point of speed. Okay. So what do we have? We have a police ship. We have an improved police ship that has a few more defensive weapons. So... Phaser 1s are the best, and Phaser 3s are like short-range defensive phasers. Only Starfleet has Phaser 1s. Nobody else gets Phaser 1s. Everyone else gets Phaser 2s, which are Phaser 1s but crappier. Here we go. Here's the proper frigate. It has some phasers. You know, so the icons change here. You have some phasers, and it has more photon torpedoes. This thing is properly armed. It's got enough power. Yeah. Yeah, we only have 3 frigate variants right now. Ah, yeah, so the actual, like, military frigate, notice how the turn size goes up? It doesn't turn as tight. That's a little important. That's a little important. What do we have for light cruisers? We have these things. This is what it looks like with a side view. We just have the destroyer. Okay. These things are cool because they have cruiser armaments, but they don't have cruiser power. So they can't power all their weapons at the same time without going really slow. It's kind of a problem. Later on, there's more variants of these in light cruisers that they're way better. Yeah, there's a lot going on here, right? But the graphics are kind of Half-Life 1-esque, as you said, like in detail. Yes. So, we have our cruisers, kind of like the Enterprise here, right? It's got the big saucer and it's got the big saucer and the little secondary hull here and the 2 warp engines, right? That's the command. There we go. That's like the Enterprise right there. Yeah, we have 3. We have the command cruiser version, which is just more guns. Is it more power? Yes, a little bit more. Okay. Ships. Space dock. Space dock is where we load up all our consumables and everything. We have no money, so we can't do anything. Spare parts is for repairs. Mines, I can drop mines. And then Marines. Marines is for boarding actions. You can board ships and damage them, and also inflict, and also capture them. I did a playthrough, multiple playthroughs years ago, where all I did was capture ships. It was silly. So our ship is a frigate. It says FF right there. That's the frigate, and it's number 312, the Roosevelt. Okay. All right. What's our galactic map? Okay. This doesn't matter too much, unless you're playing like past the main story campaign. You can technically play forever. This only matters after the main campaign. So we've got the Federation here, we got Romulans, we got Klingons, and then we have some of the other species that are made up just for this, for the original board game. They're really cool. You saw them in the opening.
The Gorn Confederation is
Oh, the
composed
Gorn.
of 3 nearly identical reptilian races. Gorns stand nearly 9 feet tall and weigh over 400 pounds. They are generally not aggressive unless provoked and tend to be highly territorial. The Gorn fleet is small, but made up of high-quality ships. Like the Romulans, the Gorn use plasma torpedoes for their heavy weapon to accompany their phasers. Because their big weapon is a plasma torpedo, the Gorn ships need to get in close to be most effective.
Yeah, don't let them get
Gorn
close.
ships are very difficult to damage, with many redundant systems and large hulls.
Oh, yeah.
Gorns are also very dangerous in hand-to-hand combat and carry more Marines than usual.
Not only do they have a lot of Marines, they have, yeah, he's very loud. This game suffers from the volume controls don't apply to everything, so it gets really loud. I'm sorry for that. That's the Gorn, that's the lizard people. Okay. Who are these guys?
The Lyran Star Empire, unlike most races, is a matriarchal society. Lyrans are feline humanoids of Herculean strength, though only slightly larger than humans. Lyran disposition is similar to that of Klingons. They are fierce and passionate, with an intense love of combat.
Okay.
Their government is distinctly feudal in nature.
Lovely.
Lyran ships are fast and bristling with weapons, but are generally underpowered. Lyrans rely heavily on the use of disruptors for their medium-range weapons and a powerful but short-range weapon called an expanding sphere generator.
That's their unique tech.
The ESG is used as both a defensive weapon, sweeping away enemy missiles and fighters, and as an offensive weapon, allowing the Lyran ship to ram its target.
Yeah, so the Lyrans are like the yellow and green people. Their ships are the yellow and green ones that you saw in the opening. They also have another special weapon called the Hellbore Cannon. That thing's mean. You shoot, and it goes plap, and it goes all over the shield, and it converges on your weakest shield. So it only hits the weakest shields. It's very mean. Then the guys in the lower left must be the Hydrons.
The Hydran Kingdom is inhabited by a single race, the Hydrans. They are one of the more alien-dominant races in the known galaxy.
Look at them.
They have 3 sexes and breathe methane.
Woo!
They generally inhabit the type of planets that other races avoid.
Yeah.
Despite their odd appearance, Hydrans are almost human in terms of their philosophy and disposition. In general, they don't attack unless provoked, and are more interested in scientific exploration than territorial expansion. They have 2
Oh, they have the
heavy
Hellbore.
weapons,
They have the Hellbore.
The Hellbore and the Fusion Beam.
Fusion beam's so good.
Fusion beams are very short-ranged. Hellbores can envelop the shields of the target, doing the most damage to the weakest shield. Most ships of the kingdom are also equipped with small fighter craft. Hydrans rely heavily on their fighters.
So the Hydron's shtick is the Hellbore Cannon, the Fusion Beam. Imagine basically a plasma lance. You go up close and just punch a hole in them. It's great. And their unique shtick is fighters. Now we have Klingons.
The Klingon Empire is a small group of races ruled strongly by the Klingon race. Klingons are best known for their ferocity and a sense of honor. The Klingon government dedicates most of its resources to the military.
It is absolutely an expansion
This
of
is
the Empire.
caused by their hostile temperament, putting them at war with most of their galactic neighbors.
Yeah.
Most Klingon ships are specialized to cruise at medium range and snipe with their quick-charging disruptors.
Yep.
Klingon phasers are generally shorter ranged until refitted with a more modern type. Missiles are used to supplement their weaponry.
Oh, right. There's also, like, missiles as well. They're called drones. They're very dangerous. They do a lot of damage and they never miss, but they're slow. If you let them touch you and you don't shoot them down, they do a crap load of damage. They're great for applying pressure.
The Romulan Star Empire consistently tries to extend their territory. Romulans are a clever race, and their ships are made in the same manner. The cloaking device allows them to get close to the ships with little fear of being fired upon.
Yeah, no shit.
This technique allows them to use their very powerful plasma torpedoes for maximum effect.
Yeah.
Romulan captains must be very careful, however, because these large torpedo weapons take a lot of time and energy to charge up.
Oh, they're so slow.
Their optimal battle technique is to begin cloaked and to close with the enemy, then decloak and do as much damage as possible in the initial attack and duck away from the return fire.
Yep.
This hit-and-run technique allows the best use of the ship's available energy. The amount of energy required to cloak is generally high enough that it slows the cloaked ship to a crawl or slows the recharging of weaponry.
So imagine a race that you see their ship and then it goes, and then it disappears and you can barely see it now, right? You can't lock onto it, so even if you do hit it, you don't do a lot of damage. And then when they appear again, they shoot this big ball of plasma at you that does an unholy amount of damage. But takes like a minute or two to charge up. Yeah. Yeah, like when they cloak, you can track them, right? You're like, okay, they're right there. But you can't really hurt them when they're like that. But they move very slowly. But when you see them start to appear, you're like, oh, no, 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 no. And they go, bang, fly this big ball of plasma at you. You're like, oh, no. And pop, it'll blow up one of your shields pretty easily. The weakest plasma torpedoes striking a little frigate you start with is devastating. It sucks. So, we're just going to start here and do a mission. We're just going to do a mission. New mission. Alright, it's generated a mission. Pirates. Lieutenant Commander, this is odd. Our sensors are picking up scattered warp signatures, probably from Orion pirate origin. It's hard to tell, but it looks like the following signatures are discernible. 2 frigates. Okay, so... Alright. So we're going to start in an asteroid field, and it's going to be a 1v2. Starting on... I am on the hardest difficulty. It starts you off rough. So, let's go. Alright. So, this is the ship. This is my total power I have. This is how much I'm using. My speed. My weapons. This is my hull integrity. If this reaches 0, the ship explodes. If this reaches 0, the ship explodes. The enemy's health is over here too. So this is like all of my stations. Like what do we have? Helm, engineering, science, security, weapons, sensors, defense, map, fleet control, power control, whatever. Alright. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as you think. So, oh, here he is. He's coming in hot. Time to go to battle stations. It's one of them. There's the other guy. Oh no, one of these Orions has a cloaking device. So I'm going to speed up to about half speed. And I'm going to just... I'm going to set my weapon groups really quick. So you click to turn. And I don't have really powerful shields. See how his are weaker than mine? Alright. The other guy's coming. He's plinking from long range. Alright. So, my weapons are recharging. Oh, he's being that guy. You can transport mines, but it drops that shield for several seconds. And the AI is fairly smart. I could drop mines out of my shuttle bay. Ah, I got through his shields a little bit. Okay. Okay, I got more damage through. This... Ah! Is that a ah! That's a plasma torpedo coming my way. Yikes! Oh, it's gonna peter out. It's gonna peter out. Yep. My defensive phase just put some damage into them, and it worked out. Friendly reinforcements have arrived. It's a destroyer. Time for photon torpedoes. Let's hit... That did a ton of damage. So torpedo, whenever you... So my weapons, right? Don't even think about it. Get out of here. So, where's this guy? He's cloaked. But I can track him still, right? Ah! There's my friend. That's my favorite ship design in this game. He's come in to help, but he can't really do anything against that cloak guy right now. This guy, he's really beat up. So weapons take power to charge. Your phasers have a power capacitor, right? The more phasers you have, the bigger the capacitor, the more power it takes to charge. And your phasers have a cooldown, right? This guy's not going to be happy. Ooh! Got damaged in that explosion. Yikes. So got one. My torpedoes are ready. I'm going to... Torpedoes take the most... Torpedoes take power to charge individually. They're very power hungry. I'm going to fire mine at point-blank range with this guy. I did a ton of damage to him. Yup. That worked out. Simple encounter. Low-level encounter. Very easily. But you get kind of an idea of, like, what the combat kind of looks like. And I'll kind of explain it more as we go. There's a lot to it. Outstanding work, Lieutenant Commander. Starfleet would be very pleased. Your handling of this kind of pirate engagement was spectacular. Mission time, 4 minutes, 4 seconds. Prestige gained 150. Bonus prestige 12. 162 prestige total. Alright. What can I do? I don't think I need anything. No, I didn't spend anything. Shipyard is where you buy things. In this early era, there's nothing for me to buy. There's nothing for me to buy. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to get me a little... I'm going to get 6 spare parts instead of 5. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, I'm going to reload my mines. And I'm going to max out my marines. Okay. Actually, while I have the money now, I'm going to max out all of my consumables. Doesn't cost very much. It costs very little to stay up on stock. Okay. My crew is almost about to level out of rookie, and there's no... Ooh, that's a vet. Ooh. That's a veteran. I can have a veteran Helms officer now. I'd really like a weapon. If I could get a veteran weapons guy right now, I would, like, never miss. I would shoot the bejesus out of everything. But I'll stick with this. I'll train up this crew. When you go to a new ship, you start with a crew that's all rookies. It sucks. I'm going to go do a... I'm going to save. Gonna do a new mission. Station duty. Oh boy. Captain's log. The 312 Roosevelt has been assigned temporary duty at the Gomesa base. Gomesa base. The former base defense ships were destroyed a few weeks ago by Orion pirate raiders. That's bad. Until replacement police ships arrive, we are the station's only defense. Oh, so police ships, like that little one we initially saw when I was looking at the frigate ship list, were destroyed by Orion pirates. That's really bad. So now an actual military ship has arrived, our ship, to defend the station. Let's see what we can do. Ooh, I see Orion pirates coming in. Alright, let's go to half speed. Oh, wow. That is 3 Orion ships coming in. Let's hail them. Hello? Just static, huh? Looks like they're not talking. They're coming in very quickly. Alright, battle stations. They're coming in very close. Looks like those middle one's coming after me. This thing is going to blow the brains out of those guys, so we're going to fight kind of close to it. So, my torpedoes are loading unevenly because initially while everything else was charging, there wasn't enough free power for them. The easiest way to change your power consumption is to change your speed.